What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video. Today we're going to be looking at the NHL top 20 centers. This was a list that was put out, I believe, by NHL Tonight or like NHL Network or something like that. Now, I definitely don't agree with everything on this list. I know it was probably difficult for them to narrow it down because there were so many great centermen in the NHL, but this has been a very hot topic for the past couple days, maybe a day or so, because again, like I said, there's a lot of people disagreeing with it. I pulled up some stats just to give some background on why some of these guys might be where they are, but I'm also going to give my opinion. I'm not going to go full on and pick my top 20. I'm going to just tell you guys maybe where I would move some guys on the list. As you guys can already see, the list is up. I'm showing you guys what they figured were the top 20 centers in the league. Now, they also posted one that was a fan-voted version of the top 20, and a lot of people were disappointed with that one as well. I personally was more disappointed with the fan-voted one. I didn't vote, so I can't really talk too much smack. I didn't even know it was really going down, to be honest. I wouldn't take these lists too seriously, but I would kind of give your head a bit of a shake, and I was scratching my head because I was like, man, these are not accurate. So let's just go through the top 20. I'm going to be looking down at the pictures that you guys will also be seeing so we can go through it together. By the way, wearing my post-to-post t-shirt from Neil. Thank you very much, Neil and Brent. Appreciate that, to allow me to be repping the merch. You know, I made sure to just throw that in there. If you want to check out the post-to-post channel and grab their merch, go over there. It's on my channel. You can click their link as well. But yeah, I plan on wearing a lot more YouTuber merch, so if there's some more channels out there, I'm probably going to buy them. Anyways, let's just look at it. I'll go from 20 to 1. You guys can see it as well. Draisaitl, Getzlaf, Couturier, Carlson, Barzal, Eichel, Backstrom, Barkov, Kuznetsov, Stamkos. And then the top 10 was Tavares, Seguin, Bergeron, Scheifele, Kopitar, McKinnon, Matthews, Malkin, Crosby, and McDavid. So let's turn away from the top 20 list just for a second, pull up some stats that I grabbed earlier. So this first one here is face-off wins. So as you can see, there will be some names that aren't on this list and some names that are on the list. So these are guys that have won the most face-offs. I believe I said it so that way they had to play like 60 or more games. So that's there's probably some other guys in there, but they played fewer games. So Ryan O'Reilly's at the top of the list. Of course, Crosby's there, Kopitar, you got Tavares in there, Barkov, Taves, who wasn't on the list, and that's another thing. The two names I noticed right away were Giroux and Taves that weren't on the list. I know Taves has been struggling, but I mean, I can't see how he's not a top 20 center in the league. In my opinion, again, I could be wrong. Giroux's got to be in there no matter what. You know, you got guys like Trocheck in there, Stastny, Johansson, but again, that's just the face-off win, so you can see I'm just giving you guys a bit of background to which guys should have been in there and maybe some that are, you know, on the list and maybe should have been higher. The next one is plus-minus. You got William Karlsson on there. I believe the NHL Network showed his plus-minus on there because he has one of the better plus-minuses in the history of the NHL, or at least in the past couple decades or something like that. I can't remember the exact stat, but he was a plus 49. Very, very impressive. You got Marchessault on there, his teammate Yanni Gourde, Couturier, who's a guy who probably could have been a little higher on that list too. Giroux, again, I have no idea how he's not on this list. I looked over it a couple times and was like, where is he? Austin Matthews, who I'll get to later, Patrice Bergeron, who I will also get to later. All right, just getting into points here as well. This one's probably some that people already know of or have already seen. You know, you've got a guy like Connor McDavid, of course, at the top of the list, 108 points. The guy just is a point machine. Giroux, again, I'm going to keep saying it. I have no idea why he wasn't on this list. It's actually quite embarrassing. Malkin, of course, McKinnon, Kopitar, Crosby, Stamkos, Barzal, Tavares, Kuznetsov, Karlsson, and Seguin. So the usual suspects, those guys, they all had to be on the list there as well. You won't see guys like Matthews because he missed quite a few games as well. That's probably why... Well, that's why he's not at the top, because he probably would have put more points up. Nothing like McDavid, but probably, you know, in a higher range, more than a point per game. Then we got points per game. Again, you guys can see it. I pulled it up. You got guys like McDavid, McKinnon, Malkin, Giroux, Kopitar, who's crazy underrated to me as a top player in the NHL. Stamkos, Crosby, Kuznetsov, Barzal, Tavares, Matthews, Scheifele. So, again, it's not like they messed up where they completely missed like half of the centermen that they should have put in there, but they did miss a couple guys in maybe the positioning. Then I pulled up shorthanded points as well, because I do like defensive style of forwards, and that's going to come in a little bit when I argue a little bit more about the list. So you got Barkov again up there, a guy who definitely should have been higher in my opinion on the list, and it is tough to put it together, but I'll explain why. You know, McDavid's on there as well. Then we got takeaways, going to another defensive style of the game. McDavid is definitely up there, a guy that will take the puck away from you quite easily. Another guy who would probably be higher than that is Matthews, again, just because of the fact that he missed so many games. He's so good at taking away the puck. You got William Karlsson on there, Draisaitl, Malkin. Yeah, so like again, you got a lot of the guys that are on this list. So let's take a look again at that list, the top 20 centermen. We'll pull it back up here. So I agree with number 1. Now, I do think Sidney Crosby could easily be put at number 1 as well. I don't think anybody's really going to argue. As long as McDavid and Crosby are 1-2, I don't think a lot of people will really care. Personally, and this is going to maybe tick some people off because Malkin is very good, I would have Malkin at number 4. Because I would have Patrice Bergeron at number 3. Now, the reason I say that is because, not just because he's broke my heart many times and I've seen him just dominate the Leafs, and that's not even meant to be a joke, he's literally dominated the Leafs. It's the fact that he did miss quite a lot of games last season, and even some playoff time. The fact of the matter is I think the defensive style of centerman is kind of pushed to the side just a little bit when it comes to rankings like this, because they like the flashy scoring type of players. And that's not to say McDavid and Crosby aren't defensive, because they are. They can do both. But I feel like since maybe Bergeron doesn't put up as many points as those two guys, that he's maybe kicked down a little bit, because on this list they have him at number 8. I do not have him anywhere out of the top 5. I cannot see him out of that top 5. So if I was to quickly give you guys a little bit of a rundown, I would say McDavid 1, I'd have Crosby 2, I'd have Bergeron 3, I'd have Malkin 4, I'd have Kopitar 5, because I think, again, Kopitar is another defensive style of centerman who puts up a ton of points. I think that he is a very underrated centerman in the league. He's kind of playing like the Bergeron style of game. Very big fan of him as well. So I definitely have Kopitar. So I'd have McDavid, Crosby, Bergeron, Malkin, Kopitar, probably McKinnon, and then Matthews. I think that's how I would go if I was to just round out some of the guys near the top. I would have Giroux probably in my top 10 as well. I'd probably maybe move Seguin a little out of there. A lot of people aren't going to like that, but I would definitely, I think, in favor of Giroux. I think I would really like Giroux in that top 10. I think that he's very underrated. I mean, I just showed you guys some stats there that prove that he probably should have been in this list. Like, I looked at this list 2 or 3 times and was like, where the hell is he? Leon Draisaitl, because he plays both positions, he did take quite a lot of time at the center position. I probably would leave him where he is. Same with Getzlaf, probably. I would maybe move Karlsson down to that number 18 spot. I would move Couturier up for sure. Barkov is another guy. He could be pushing into the top 10 as well. This is just very tough. I mean, Tavares probably seems in the right spot at number 10, maybe at the number 11 spot in favor of a Barkov type of player. I think Nick Backstrom is so good. Like, again, you can see it is very tough. But I think what the NHL Network or NHL Tonight, whatever it was, who specifically did this list, they kind of missed an opportunity to give the defensive style of centerman a little bit more praise. I know it was voted on by people in their office probably, but being a Leafs fan, I think a lot of people also were like, oh, Matthews shouldn't even be in the top 10. I mean, I've seen crazy comments like he's not even the 4th best centerman on his team. Like, guys, come on, let's be real here. Let's not get too crazy. Matthews deserves to be in the top 10, okay? He probably deserves to be in the top 7, maybe top 6. In my opinion, he belongs in the 6-7 spot on this list, just based off the fact that he did miss a lot of games last year, and that's the same thing with Bergeron. I think that those two guys definitely would have done a lot more to deserve to be higher on this list as well. Again, my biggest issue with this list is Giroux not being there. Taves might be able to slip in there, maybe not, looking at some of these guys. Matthews might have to knock down a couple spots, even though I'm a Leafs fan. I gotta keep it real. Kopitar should go up a little bit. And you could argue that Barkov should slide maybe in that top 10, maybe 11 spot. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your list down below. I wanted to kind of leave it to you guys anyways to really fill out your top 20. If you guys really want me to do that, let me know. I might even make a separate video doing the top 20 and giving an even deeper explanation. If you guys want to subscribe, I'd love that. I'd love to have more hockey conversations with you. Let's get to 4,000 subscribers. Hit the notification bell to be notified for the video and streams. And I will see you guys in the next video streams. There's t-shirts down below if you want to buy one. Peace.